Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn a very important hook in React that is useState. This is the most fundamental hook in React. This hook basically allows to handle states in functional components. Thus it helps in tracking changes that happen in component. For example, on click of button color of box changes. Or on click of button counter value increases. Let's understand syntax of useState. Count is the name of state variable. setCount is setter function which allows to set new value. And triggers re-rendering of component. 0 here indicates initial value of state variable count. Now let's understand this with basic example. Here, first I have created a functional component named counter. Now let's create counter state variable as shown previously. Now, as you can see I have created button. Let's now create a function on click of it to update counter. I have created increase counter function. In this, counter is incremented by 1 using setter function of useState. Now, let's see the output for the same. As I click on increase counter, value updates to 1. If we click on increase counter again, it will update to 2 and so on. Now, this is great and all as it's updating the state and rendering component correctly. But, there is caveat or pitfall in this approach. React batches state updates, which means we won't be able to get the updated value in next line immediately. We will see that in example shortly. While this may not create problem in most of the cases, there are some scenarios where this might create a problem. Let's see an example. Let's understand meaning of React batches state updates by example. As you can see I am trying to log value of counter immediately after updating it. Let's check output of this. In this example, initial value of counter is 0. Now, let's click on increase counter and check console. As you can see, the value of page is increased to 1. But in console it's showing as 0. It's not updated immediately because React batches state updates. Hence, on console old value that is 0 is displayed. So, you might ask what to do in such situations. For such situations, we can use functional updates. Let's see that with real-world example. Let's say there is big library, which has 2 entrances. Also, it has 2 librarians to issue the books. Suppose, person 1 is going to librarian 1 to issue a book. Suppose, person 2 is going to librarian 2 to issue same book. The only difference is person 2 is going to librarian 2 5 to 10 seconds later. So, button or function to check how many copies are left will be called in fast succession. So there is fair chance that librarian 2 might get value from previous update. Let's see what I mean through code. As you can see I have decreased counter twice to check number of copies left. I am updating set counter twice to depict our library scenario. As in that scenario, set counter will be called back to back in fast succession. Now, let's check output for the same. Let's say both librarian are clicking on button to check how many copies left. As you can see the counter value is showing as 0. But it should have shown -1, as counter is updated twice. And thus, in librarian scenario it would have notified librarian 2 that no copies of book left to issue. So, let's see what could be the solution for such cases. In such scenarios, we can update state with functional updates. That is we will update state like below. So, what functional updates does is it updates new value based on previous value of the state variable. Thus, it ensures that latest value is used. Let's see the same in our library example. As you can see, I have updated state with functional updates. Let's see output for same. We have clicked check copies of book left. Now, the output is correctly showing as -1. Thus in real world, librarian 2 will be correctly notified as no copies of book left to issue. So, now you might have question in mind? Should we always use functional updates then? The answer is no, use it in scenarios like library, otherwise normal state updates will do the job. This was about primitive types, state updates. Now let's understand how objects and arrays are updated and how they behave in useState. In React, object states are not mutated, those should be replaced. For example, we can't update student object in below fashion. Because, this will mutate object, instead we should replace it like this, by creating new object as shown below. To understand objects, let's take example of college, where we have student object. We have replaced student info object as shown previously, by creating new object. Let's see output for same. Let's click on update student info. As you can see, the details are updated correctly. Now, let's understand how nested object works. For that, let's say every student has address as object in it. Let's see how nested object works through code. For updating nested objects, it is same rule, you can't mutate like below. You have to replace object like below, by creating new object. While updating nested objects, you have to keep one thing in mind, that useState does not automatically merge object updates. It directly replaces entire object. Hence, to update nested object, copies of all the objects above the top level of object should be created. That means you have to manual merge, like shown already. Let's see an example to understand better. As you can see here, I have directly updated address object here. If we update like this, we will lose other data of student info. Let's see the output. Let's click on update student info to check if entire object is updated. As you can see, we can only see city from address on screen, but we are unable to see name and roll number details of student. This happens because, as mentioned, React useState doesn't automatically merges the state, it replaces it. Thus, it replaced entire student info only with address details. To resolve the merging issue mentioned earlier, we will have to manual merge all top level of objects. Here we have first copied student info, then address, and then updated value of city. This keeps the object intact and updates new values. Let's see output for the same. As you can see here now, the entire object's values are updated correctly and no value is lost. Now let's understand how arrays behave with useState with same college example. Suppose that new student enters college. Then we need to add data of that in array of college. Same like objects, arrays should also not be mutated while updating it. So, avoid using below methods to add array, push and unshift. Instead, use below methods, concat or spread syntax. While removing, avoid below methods, pop, shift, splice. Instead, use below methods, filter or slice. As you can see, we have used spread syntax to copy array so it won't be mutated. Now, we are displaying that array in list format. Let's check output of same. So the value is correctly updated in array. Now, let's see how to remove values from array. As you can see, we have used filter to delete array so it won't be mutated. We are displaying updated array in list, and now let's see output. As you can see, student info who does not have Roleno as 20 got deleted with filter method. So, that is it for useState. To sum it all quickly, we have seen below key points. useState declaration, useState functional updates, useState declaration with objects, useState declaration with arrays. useState will be of great use for basic state handling. But for complex state handling, we should use useReducer, Redux state management for even bigger state mechanisms. We will learn about those in upcoming videos. So, stay tuned with my channel and do subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notification of all of my videos, and also like the video and share it with your friends who wants to learn React. So, bye bye for now and happy coding.